Uh-oh. Let me take this call. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and I just got to wait for the time on this thing to catch up. There we go. 8 seconds that it was frozen in time because I'm doing so much in the background, and as you can see, I'm using 100% of my CPU. Let's turn down Mr. Rucker. Ladies and gentlemen, as I stated, young man went country. And he's all right, because this don't sound like no country, does it? You let somebody who got some skin color tone in their skin color tone, and they can just turn things around. Now, mind you, I was listening to, uh-oh, I gotta take this as the registered agent calling me. 1 second, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, sorry, that was, I was having a problem with a county, the same county that decided to treat me like a punk, hold me for 22 months and release. I was having a problem with them because they're a very racist and prejudiced county. And so I've been communicating with this so-called worker at this so-called government office who has been assigned, and she's been ignoring me. All she had to do was return back my birth certificate. That's all she had to do. Certified copy of birth certificate. Hey, here's my address. Return it. She documented that I just found out she documented that she received it, but she never returned it to me. I've left messages for the last 3 months for this female. You know what I mean. And she just like, F you, mother. And I'm like, really? And she like, yeah, mother, what you gonna do about it? Shoot, I got tenure. I've been here for a long time. You ain't doing nothing to me because they can't do nothing to me. Really? Okay. So I tell you what, I'm gonna call your supervisor. Then I'm gonna call your supervisor. Then I'm gonna call your supervisor. And then I'm gonna call the main supervisor. But I'm gonna do that in reverse order. So I called the governor's office, who's the main supervisor, and I said, "Hey, governor's office, these people giving me some problems. I believe it's discrimination. You name it. Go ahead and pick one. Race, age, color, disability. Name one. It's one of them." And they said, "Really?" I said, "Sure enough." They said, "Don't worry about it. The governor is being recalled. He's got to handle all of that. He's trying to make sure we take care of business. So we're going to take care of you. Here's the main office number, main supervisor. Do you want anybody else's number? Oh, no, this is their direct number. You don't have to worry about being placed on hold or nothing." I'm like, "Really?" "Nope. And here's the person's name." I said, "Man, ain't that something?" So I called the office. That person said, "Hey, if I'm not here, call this number." So I called the second number, left the message. That person called me back the very same day, said, "Hey, I got your message. Can you explain to me what's going on?" And I told her, and I said, "I got your number from the governor's office." And she says, "Really?" And she says, "Well, look, I'm going to send a message to the manager over that division, and they should be giving you a call back tomorrow." I said, "Well, they don't, well, today." She said, "They're going to be giving you a call back today." I said, "No, you don't have to have them give me a call back today. They can call me tomorrow. Okay? And then I'll call you to let you know whether or not they called me." So I called her 2 days later, said, "Hey, they ain't called me." Says, "Really? Well, I'm going to send another message." I said, "Okay, thank you. Let me know if they don't call you." So I waited 4 days. Ladies and gentlemen, still ain't called me. So I called him yesterday and I said, "Hey, they ain't called me. I told you them prejudiced mother ain't gonna call me." She said, "Look, I got this. Somebody gonna call you today." So that was that somebody calling me today. She was a manager. And I spoke to that manager who's out of a different office. I said, "Look, this is everything that's going on." She said, "Well, look, I'm gonna get you your birth certificate back." I said, "Well, I'm gonna try to find it." I said, "Well, don't you go right ahead and try to find it, but that ain't the reason why I'm calling. I can give up my super birth certificate." That woman ignored me. And I've made it a point in my life that nobody gets to treat me as a second, third, or fourth class citizen of anything, nor does she get to pretend I'm not standing in front of her. She doesn't get to look past me, through me, or around me. I promise you I will get her attention. Legally. Okay? I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to file a complaint with risk management. And I'm going to let risk management know exactly what's been going on, how she took my property and held on to it and didn't return it. Well, sir, I think they may have sent it back, but they may have sent it back to the other address because she didn't log in the change of address. She maybe didn't receive the change of address. Impossible. I said because I responded to her in the same letter y'all sent me, and I put everything in that letter, and I put the change of address, and it was explicit. So impossible for her not to have the change of address. I said, before you even told me that the information was logged into the system, I told you that I know the information has been logged in. And because the information has been logged in means she received the notice of change of address and she never sent me anything. I said I tried to give her the address in the first place, but because it was out of state, she didn't want to take it. So gave her an address. Now that address changed, and there she goes. She didn't want to put it in. She wanted to ignore me. Don't want to call me back. Been 3 months. I had enough. Go talk to Eddie Murphy. Maybe he can help you understand what I'm talking about. I didn't actually tell her that last part, but you know what I'm talking about. So that's what we were talking about. And so at the end of the conversation, she like, I apologize. And I started to say, look here, woman, uh, you ain't did nothing wrong. Not yet. So you apologize in advance, but I didn't tell her that either. You know what I'm saying? She did the job. She did the mess up. She with me. And I want her to know she put the wrong, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Whew. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my conversations during the day. I wake up, I sit in front of this computer all day, trying to handle business all day on the computer, all day, all day. That's all I do, all day. This thing gonna tell me it can't hook up, so I'm gonna have to pause it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. What's going on in the background is advanced system care, AI mode, artificial immigrant mode. Okay, now look, Michael, I don't care about nobody rocking your stupid world. Go to sleep, boy. Oh, that's right. He is asleep. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you guys will know, the reason why I'm doing this video is because it's important. I have a motion that I have to write about in just a moment. Okay. For those of you, just so that you know, those of you who think we have not been doing UCCs, I get a copy of all the UCCs that are filed through SATCOM. So those of you who are claiming that you haven't received this, you haven't received that, we are automating the system. We're doing an audit of the entire system. So just be patient. We will get it to you. Okay. It's not something and if there is a mix up, if there is a possibility that it wasn't done, and we've run into a couple of times where it did not complete, we have taken care of it and sent it to people. But there was one guy who communicated with me that it's been since 2019. He hasn't heard anything. Well, it turns out that it was done. It was sent out, but he didn't receive it. Why? Because they've been interfering with our email, they've been interfering with our mail, and it's becoming quite irritating. We're not the only persons that they're doing this to. It's other people that I'm hearing and having call me and tell me about what they're experiencing. Again, there are several things that we need to discuss, so let's go ahead and discuss, for the most part, the following. Ladies and gentlemen, my personal number, which is the number that young lady called me on, that number is specific for something. Then I have a Google Voice number, which is specific for you all. Give me 1 second. My Google Voice, I said Google Voice, and the Google Voice automation came up on the phone. So it paused my um, music, and we can't have that. Google needs to leave my music alone. Ladies and gentlemen, then I have four other numbers. No joke. Four other numbers, all connected to this phone. Everything is forwarded to this phone. However, I can tell which number is coming through because of the way the number comes through. I have given my personal number out to a couple of people. Ladies and gentlemen, if I gave you my personal number, it was either because it was a consult or because I care enough to want to have conversations with you periodically. Okay, let me see if I can keep myself calm. Ladies and gentlemen, I just said these are my numbers. So what gives any of you the right to give out my personal information regarding my personal phone numbers to anybody? Who gave you the mother? Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't have to do this video. Here's what I'm going to do. You have those of you who giving my number out, you better correct it now because I didn't give you permission to give my number out. You want to give a number out, you give out the Google Voice number, the 6315 EON V3, 631-533-6683. You can give that number out to your grandmama, your grandpapa, your granduncle. I don't give a who you give that number out to. That's why I put it up on the internet. But my personal number, if I didn't tell you, hey, give such and such this number, and you give out my number and I find out it was you, then I'm going to give out your number on video. I'm going to give out your information. You want to make my information public? I will make your information public because that's our contract. Or you didn't know. That's our agreement. You want to give out my personal information, then that's what we've agreed. That if you can give out my personal information, I can give out yours. Go ahead. Let's play. Let's see who can do more damage. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my boy. Dana Jane, the same, that was my classic. You said you want more, that's what you're searching for. And Dana Jane, forever, the encore. Dana Jane, what? Forever on the mic. Hey, Dana Jane, forever rocking the house. You said they were splendid? Dana Jane, everybody. Whew. I'm sorry. I got a call earlier today, and it was from a gentleman that I had never spoken to before. I'm not going to say his name because it's not his fault. Although he knew what he was doing, it's not his fault. Ladies and gentlemen, none of you have that type of access to me because I didn't sign up for that. Let me explain to you how some of you are. I tell you, and I do this explicitly so that you guys can understand the type of people I'm dealing with. I had a woman say, I donated $500 to you, and now because you wouldn't talk to me and answer my questions and let me sit up there and explain everything to you and take up all your time that evening when you know you were busy and you were tired and you said you didn't have enough time to respond to me, the very fact that you sat up there and told me that I could not talk to you, I'm so sorry I loaned you and sat up there and gave you anything. How dare you ignore me? How dare you treat me as if I wasn't special? So let's take a moment and resonate on that information, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I can't be bought. Okay, just because you give me, and I did ask for it at the beginning because I needed to be able to put out the information that you've heard me putting out for the last 3 months. Go back and listen to the information being put out for the last 3 months and tell me if it doesn't help people get access. There's a lot more coming. You just can't do it all because there's a lot more going on. I'm replacing the awning of the RV, and right now it's 91 degrees in here. This is the first day in a month that we've been 91 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, 91. That's a good thing because it feels like it's like 82 degrees right now, but 91 degrees is the temperature. I need to finish putting up the gate that's going to enclose the solar panels. I need to run the wiring for the solar panels, and then I gotta finish the awning. The awning is awkward and difficult because it's one person, not two persons, and my energy level is not there. So I've already taken the awning down. I've already taken off the tarp. I just gotta replace the tarp. Now I gotta go back over the video to make sure I don't skip any steps. I gotta use my permanent marker. I have a permanent marker here, and I got a bunch of other permanent markers because I gotta permanent mark things on the awning to remember where things go because certain things have to go in a certain order. If it doesn't, you gotta go through the whole process all over again. The awning is heavy. It is 8 feet long. It hangs 12 feet in the air, and I'm the only person. So if you can imagine, That thing weighs about 50 pounds, but it's 8 feet long, 50 pounds. So if I put up one side, I have to worry about it pulling itself away from the. This is my song. Y'all know about this song. This is Wham. Wham! And they're talking about time. The careless whispers, all the good friends. Okay, it can reach the sky. There's no comfort in the what? The pain is all you'll find. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in putting up the awning, there's only one person, there's only one ladder. It's 12 feet high. And pulling down the awning, the problem was the connections were not sturdy. Brand new bars. It's just they hadn't been maintained. So now I gotta wipe them down, clean them down because they have a lot of debris on them because it hasn't been opened in years. But by not being open in years and sitting in the sun, the awning itself deteriorated. So I have a new awning right here, and I also have the wire for keeping the awning in place. Okay, so that's where we be. And I have the roller and all of that stuff to put everything on. So what I'm trying to say is it's gonna get done. The solar panels are my next project after I put up the fencing. I have the posts for the fencing. I can do a 25 by 25, yeah, which is almost, yeah, that's 50 square feet. I have my fence that is 50 feet by 50 feet. So one fence will cover 25 by 25, the other fence will cover the other 25 by 25, making a complete enclosure. That's going to be for the panels. And eventually, I will go ahead and take care of the fence and make it wider and expand it and all that stuff. That being the case, I'm almost there. However, while I'm doing all of this, there's a lot of other things going on. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of other things going on. It's just not the people who are calling in that I'm having to deal with, but they all think that their issue is the number one issue. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start limiting people's time when they call me, and I'm really going to be quick and short with them. Like one person called me yesterday, and just one of those, this is going to be a short conversation, and it turned out to be a long conversation because she was asking me what is it that she could do. She told me what the situation was, and I told her. And while I'm telling her what the situation was, she's still talking because she wants to get her point across. I told you people, understand something. I am not here to listen to your entire life story. Do not call me with your life story. I don't give up about your life story. I don't care how much you care about what you're going through. I don't have time to care about what you're going through. You're not calling me to be your advisor and counselor and spiritual consultant. That's not what I do. If you have a problem, I'll tell you. I also had another person call me, and that's where we're getting. We're gonna segue. You're gonna segue? Well, you know what? Tonight the music seems so loud. Come on now. This is. Oh, look at it. It won't let me click. Isn't that about? Ain't that about everything? Ring Central. No, I don't want Ring Central. Get rid of that. I'm trying to take y'all to the conversation I just had with somebody today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is at a website called USA versus US.info. Now, this is US hyphen property in state. Okay, this is taken from the congressional records where the property of the United States is where? Invested or vested in the state. No property is owned by any person. Okay, this information, I don't know it fully. I just know some of it. because they quote the law here from the 73rd Congress. The ultimate ownership of all property is in the state. Individual so-called ownership is only by virtue of government, i.e. law, amounting to mere user. And use must be in accordance with law and subordinate to the necessities of the state. Impossible. Because the ultimate ownership of the property is in the people. Each person has the right to property. The state doesn't get ultimate ownership. They never had ultimate ownership. Congress could not confer upon them ultimate ownership. Pay attention, because the moment Congress took away the property from the people, it violated their due process right to property. Okay? Which the law says Congress shall make no law abridging that fundamental right. So that makes this provision of law unlawful. That's your rebutting the presumption. You are permitted to go into the court and rebut presumptions. Brian Adams, everybody. He's coming home. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you are permitted to go in court and rebut presumptions. Now, let me explain something to you guys of a conversation I had earlier. Then I'm going to get on out of here. Let's see. Not there, not there. No, it ain't. Okay, it ain't here. I'm going to have to go. No, it ain't there either. Let's see if it's on this page. Because I was here. We can go all the way here. Yeah, it's on this page. It's on this page. Let's see. I got to open this up. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to this Ohio statute. Okay, this is the Ohio statute. Some of you guys are already aware of this statute. Somebody brought this statute to my attention this morning. I had not heard of this statute, but it's a good thing I had not heard of it because it doesn't apply. Now, let me go ahead and read something to y'all, because people who are putting this up, they're reading it wrong. I'll prove it. Watch this. Section 3705.11. I got to go and call the young man back who was speaking with me about this and let him know that somebody is misinterpreting this statute. See, the statute has to be read as written. You can't read into a statute. Okay? It's called General Principles of Statutory Interpretation. General Principles of Statutory Interpretation. There are certain rules that they must follow when enacting a statute because it's administrative. They can't just enact a statute just to be enacting a statute. Okay, because you have the right to interpret law, understand law, you must understand a statute. So it's section F. Okay, the name and address of the person or institution with whom the child has been placed for care. The place where the child is found shall be known as the place of birth, and the date of birth shall be determined by approximation. The person, superintendent, or manager of the institution with whom the fondling child is placed for care shall give such a child a name within 10 days and shall promptly report the name given to local registrar for registration district for the registration district in which the child was found. The fondling report shall constitute a birth certificate. Pay attention. The fondling report shall constitute a birth certificate. Now, why would it constitute a birth certificate? Let's do this. Relating to birth certificates or records shall apply in the same manner and with the same effect as such a report. Okay, so the fondling report shall constitute a birth certificate for the fondling child. Okay, that's it. Uh-oh, there's an exception. Hold on now. If a fondling child is later identified and an original birth record is found, then this is what is to happen. Or an original birth record is obtained. The fondling report, which constituted as a birth certificate, shall cease to be a public record. Such fondling report, which constituted a birth certificate, shall be placed in an envelope which shall be sealed by the department and shall not be opened to inspection or copy unless so ordered by the court of competent jurisdiction. All copies in the fondling report which shall constitute a birth certificate unless the original birth certificate record is found in possession of the local register or probate court, as well as any and all index references thereto shall be destroyed. The birth certificate doesn't get destroyed. The fondling record, if the original certificate is found or obtained. People were believing that the fondling record is the birth certificate for everybody, and that once you put it in an envelope and send it to them, that it gets destroyed. That's not what this is saying. This is saying for a child, a fondling, like a hatchling, because that's what they call them. Okay, whoever finds a living infant of unknown parentage shall immediately report such finding to the local register of vital statistic of the registration district wherein the child was found on the prescribed form, which shall state blah 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 blah. Okay, just that simple. Then they'll take them and they become wards of the state, and then they will do all the things they do. Okay, but this is not saying that this fondling report is a birth certificate for every person, only for the child who is fondling and waving his hands and going, ah, they left me at a fire station. Oh God, if this is us, oh no, I can't handle it. Okay, so I'm sorry that some of you misread this because I know there's been quite a few people talking about this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do you a favor because some of you guys need to understand what's going on. Okay, give me a second because we are going to open up Microsoft Word. I got to get rid of this, so give me 1 second. I'm pulling this up right here because I was deleting some things. Now I'll leave Skype here. I don't need to touch Skype. Me and Skype, we do all right. So Skype is going to stay. All right, now I'm going to open up Microsoft Word because I have to show you guys something. Now, what we're going to do right here is we're going to go to PRESIDENTIAALPROCLAI. Whoa, 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 hold on. It already had it there and then it disappeared. Would you take away my presidential proclamation 2039? Ah, there we go. Banking institutions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're not focused on banking institutions. I just suggested that. I gotta get Word to open up. I don't know why it's taking its time. We want to pull up the Banking Act. I don't care about banking institutions. Okay? March 6th through 9th, 1933, inclusive. Actually, it was a 4 day thing. So if you count the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, that's 4 days. However, watch this. I put still extant because that's what the Supreme Court said. What does extant means? It means like in an instant. Really? Actually, no. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to this article right here. Oh, by the way, this is by an attorney who said, is this love coming at you? Yeah, this is Melba Moore. Love coming at ya. My love's coming at you. This is an instrumental. I wasn't trying to download the instrumental, so now I got to go to the artist and get love coming at you. I have to get love coming at you. I don't know why I got the. Oh, then it ain't instrumental. Okay, I'm downloading it now because it's Melba Moore, and if you guys don't see, it said instrumental. Okay, but this is Love Coming At You by Melba Moore, and I'm a Melba Moore fan. Natick, um, Melba Moore did an album, and she did a couple of songs with Freddie Jackson, and they were off the chain. It's just my sister went and bought the CD, and when she bought the CD, man, I confiscated that CD from her and was playing it all the time. Then I lost it, and she got real upset with me because I lost her Melba Moore CD and I went and bought her another one. Here. So Melba, I bought two of your CDs. Well, my sister bought one, which I had to pay for, and we went and bought another one. Okay. Melba Moore, everybody. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the War Powers Act of 1933 is a name given by some members of the militia and patriot movement to emergency banking legislation passed in 1933, 5 days after Roosevelt came into office. Please understand, it was not the militia or the so-called patriot movement. This is an attorney who wrote this, ladies and gentlemen. It was not them that did this. It was the government who called it war powers. You'll see Congress is going to do it in 1973. We'll talk about that later. The legislation did not, in fact, have the title attributed to it. That's a lie. It has apparently been so labeled by some because the banking legislation amended the Trading with the Enemies Act in order to give legal underpinning to the President Roosevelt's effort. Ladies and gentlemen, the Banking Act was the Banking Act of 1933. It was called the Emergency Banking Act of 1933. Because of the Emergency Banking Act of 1933 enacted by Congress, that permitted President Roosevelt's proclamation to continue to exist. So we're going to do, so that we don't have to read the whole thing because I've already done a video on this. We're going to do Control F to get that up, and we're going to put EXTA. There it is. Pay attention so that you guys will get it. When one pertinent exception, or excuse me, with one pertinent exception, exception, it terminated. What terminated? The National Emergencies Act terminated all powers and authorities passed by the president, any other officer or employee of the federal government, or any executive agency as a result of the existence of any declaration of national emergency in effect on September 14th, 1976. The Senate Special Committee, they gave a report, had found that not only President Roosevelt's 1933 proclamation of a national emergency, but also a proclamation by President Truman and two by President Nixon were still extant, meaning still active, still pertinent, still viable. Okay? Technically, the National Emergencies Act did not repeal or terminate those four declarations, including the one by Roosevelt in 1933, did not terminate the four declarations of national emergency. But with one exception noted below, this section of the act did render them hollow shells. Really? Then if they wanted to render them hollow shells, then why didn't they terminate them? Huh? Dude, why did you have to make the National Emergencies Act to repeal several statutory delegations of emergency powers? Why didn't you repeal them, Congress? Why didn't you repeal it? You were doing the National Emergencies Act to repeal all of the other acts by all the other presidents, but you left those four in place. You say you left this one in place because you didn't want to create new laws for Cuba and China and North Korea and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Proclamation 2040. That's why it's Proclamation 2038, 2039, and 2040. Proclamation 2038 is the one where the President Roosevelt declared, "Hey, Congress, get up in here. We got a meeting we need to have. Y'all gonna meet on the 9th." And then on the 6th, he wrote Presidential Proclamation 2039. And on the 9th, Congress said, "Hey, President, you asking us to do an emergency. We ain't gonna let nobody read the bill. We gonna read it twice, and then we gonna just enact it in the law. We don't care if anybody has an objection. Forget them." And we gonna say forget them without saying the word. We just gonna say F them. Okay? That's what we gonna do. And that's what they did. See, The act provided that any standby emergency authority provided by the president by statute, the Senate Special Committee had found 470 such statutes could be activated in the future only by new presidential declarations of national emergency that was transmitted to Congress in the Federal Registry. That's not true, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lie. What the Senate found is that there were 470 provisions of law that gave the president the authority to rule this country without the normal constitutional process. That's what the Senate found. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, I've done the videos on that. When it said it gave the president the authority to rule this country, please understand that the Presidential Proclamation 2039 and the March 9, 1933 Act was, as you saw earlier. Let's go back up there because we will get this so that you guys will understand what's going on here, because many of you who have not paid attention don't know about this. Ladies and gentlemen, they were amending something. This March 9, 1933 Act, otherwise codified as 12 USC 95B, was an amendment to the Trading with the Enemies Act. This is Hooks and Me, ladies and gentlemen. This is the original OJ's version. Patty LaBelle did a version of this, and I'll probably download her version later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just so that you guys will know, because you guys don't seem to understand what's going on, because I can tell by your silence that you don't understand what's going on. So let me make sure you understand. On the basis of that committee's findings and recommendation, Congress in 1976 enacted the National Emergencies Act. The act repeals several statutory delegations of emergency powers. In addition, imposed a number of controls on the president's exercise of emergency powers as follows. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember when Donald Trump announced that there was a pandemic in March of last year in the United States? And when he did that, he says, national emergency. Those are two very big words. Go back. He knew what he was talking about. It's just that he didn't know what he was talking about. Because had he known what he was talking about, a lot of stuff would not have happened that took place. But like I told people, because he knew of this, I believe they threatened his children. And I believe they threatened the youngest one specifically. Okay? That's why he changed. That's why he wasn't so gung-ho. Look at him. Look at how tempered he is now. Oh man, he ain't even the same person. I mean, he was so gung-ho, had all that power. Pay attention. In the middle of that decade, the Senate created a special committee on national emergencies and delegated emergency powers to conduct an investigation into presidential use and abuse of emergency powers. They didn't have the authority to do that because of the act itself. The Trading with the Enemies Act is a military act, ladies and gentlemen. This was given the president military power. We have been under military rule since 1933. You don't believe me? Go back and look at when the act was enacted. Look at the powers that it said it gave the president. That's why they wanted to take it back, because they claimed that they were abusing that emergency power. Okay, going into war without asking permission. How dare they? Okay, doing investigation on congressional members. How dare they? Pay attention. Based on this expansive statutory authority, the President's Proclamation number 2040 on March 9 extended the national emergency and the banking holiday he had declared on March 6 until further proclamation by the President. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There's been no further proclamation by the President ending this act. And Congress, when they sat up there and enacted the Emergency Banking Act of March 9, 1933, otherwise known as the Amendment to the Trading with the Enemies Act, continued the emergency until the present day. Now, again, this is written by an attorney who gave this report to Congress because he was commissioned to do that. But he is misrepresenting a lot of facts here, such as the act provided that any standby emergency authority provided to the president by statute, the Senate Special Committee had found 470 such statutes. These statutes, the president doesn't enact statutes. So the act provided that any standby emergency authority provided to the president by statute, these statutes were enacted by Congress. Pay attention. The president doesn't enact statutes. Could be activated in the future only by presidential declaration of national emergency that transmitted to Congress. The president declares a national emergency every single December 31st of every single year at midnight. Don't believe me? That's why Trump was threatening not to sign the National Emergency Act. Uh, Watch this. NDAA, the National Defense of America Act. What I should have done is national emergency when I did the National Defense of America Act. Hold on. We want, where's my laws? There we go, right here. Who's this? The Jackson 5? That sounded like Randy. Oh, that's right. This is 2500 Jackson Street. This from that album. Okay, okay. National Defense Authorization Act is the name of each of the series of United States federal law specifying the annual budget and expenditures for the United States Department of Defense. It's a military act. They do it annually. Why do they do it annually? Because this is what Congress said. Hold on now. Oh no, I done switched the page. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to do that. Now, let me show y'all something. We can go back. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. I know what we're going to do. Go to album. Ladies and gentlemen, they're doing It's All Right, but there is a song that the Jacksons sing. And the song that they sing is, where's 2300 Jackson Street? I don't see it. This is supposed to be the album. Oh no, this is not the album. Oh yes, it was albums. I gotta go back to 2300 Jackson Street. Where you at? 2300 Jackson Street. There you go. 11 songs. What we're gonna play is "Art to All This Madness." Okay, "Art to All This Madness" is one of my favorite songs by the Jacksons.
It drops like the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesses us with art.
It blesses me with madness. Okay, I've always liked this song. Thought it was well done by these boys. This is when Michael decided to help his brothers out because they didn't have enough money in their pocket, and they needed some money. So he did an album with them. They called it 2300 Jackson Street. And then the girls participated in the song 2300 Jackson Street. I thought it was an alright album. Alright, Art to All This Madness, ladies and gentlemen. Playing it specifically. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to this statute so that you guys can understand. Now, most of you are not understanding what's going on here. This country is ruled militarily. Okay? The national emergency is a military act. We have been under military rule since 1933. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. Upside down, there's an art to all this madness of every. I'm sorry, apologize, Lee. Like I told you, this song and me, we go back. I had to buy this album 3 times because people kept stealing it from me because they liked it too. Anyway, the Senate Special Committee on National Emergencies and Delegated Emergency Powers. Final report, National Emergency and Delegated Emergency Powers. Senate report number. This is the document you want to look up. So let's go look that document up. You guys don't mind? This was done in 1976. And we're going to put this whole thing. Tell me now, who's insane? Is it art to all this madness? Oh, that sounds like your theme song. Art to all this madness of everything I do. Get in its imagination of what I'm going through. There's an art to all this madness. I'm just crazy over you. Madness. All this madness. Ooh. Sorry, the Jacksons, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate Christmas. We don't celebrate Christmas. We don't celebrate any pagan holidays. Christmas is a pagan holiday. It ain't about Jesus' birth. Matter of fact, the whole purpose of Jesus coming to the earth wasn't because of his birth, it was for him to die. He even told Pontius Pilate, "It is for this reason I have been born. It is for this reason I've come into the world." Go back and read the 18th chapter of John and listen to him tell you why he came. He did not say, "I came to be born in a manger." Christmas only focuses on his birth. He came to die. He knew he was going to die. He kept talking about his death being imminent, saying, "My time has not yet arrived." He continued to say that continuously. So when I saw that the Jacksons did Christmas songs and all that stuff, and they were at one point associated with Jehovah's Witnesses, you notice all the ones who participated in stuff like that, pay attention, are not around anymore. They're not serving Jehovah. They're not Jehovah's Witnesses. Only the mother remained. Why is that? Well, because Jehovah's Witnesses, "Oh, you guys are too restrictive. You guys don't do this, you don't do that." That's not the reason. The reason why is because there are a lot of things that you are not permitted to do because the scriptures say so, not because some group says so, not because Jehovah's Witnesses say so, because the scriptures say so, because the true God says so. For instance, I'm going to let that conversation go for now because many of you guys can't handle it. I only bring it up for this reason and this reason only. Ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about this in a second. When I heard their little Christmas album, and I can't stand Christmas songs because they're pagan based songs. Why would I listen to pagan religion? Well, because most people today have pagan practices. That's right, but they all claim to be serving God, don't they? That's right. Well, how can pagan, which means contrary to serving God, be claiming to be serving God if they have mixed in the pagan religion with their religion? Isn't that what Moses in the book of Deuteronomy warns the Israelites would happen to them if they intermarry, if they sat up there and picked up the habits and the cultures of the other people? Well, when I hear the family members now what they're professing of these pagan beliefs, I'm disturbed. People think that they can believe whatever they want to believe. People, that's a lie. Nobody's permitted to believe whatever they want to believe. That has never been the rule. The truth is the truth. So if you want to believe in a lie, okay, you don't have a right to believe in a lie. Do you guys not get that statement right there? How truthful that statement is? No one has a right to believe in a lie. You don't have a right to a lie. This is what the courts are doing. That's how you rebut their presumption. They don't have a right to believe in a lie. Wait, what song is this? Oh, nothing. I don't want to listen to nothing. Nothing compares to you is the full title of the song. I'm gonna do Private Affair because I kind of like Private Affair by the Jacksons. Okay, y'all hear that? Y'all can tell that's Tito. Okay, y'all can tell that's his influence right there. And this song is called Private Affair. Okay, this is from. Come on, tell me where. I'm sorry. That is Secret. No, this is Private Affair. I was looking at Secret Rendezvous. It's a similar line. Uh, and then we're going to talk about that If Only You Believe song, like Boyz II Men. All of these Illuminati-based groups are made to do songs about believe. I don't know why that's the word, since the Illuminati, their beliefs are pagan. Again, you cannot believe in a lie. No one can believe in a lie. I don't think people understand that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for the actual Senate. I can go to archive.org. I know it's there, but I was hoping that it would be here. Archive.org has the actual Senate report. It was on our website, and that has been taken down. No. Oh, wait a minute. It did download. Dag nabbit. Here it is right here. Every time I clicked on it, it was downloading. I didn't see it. How come y'all didn't tell me? Well, because you pissed us off. I pissed you off. How I pissed you off? By talking about pagan religions and Christmas. You know how we loves our Christmas? Mother, then sit up here and talk about Christmas. Don't you dare take away that baby Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, look, let me explain something to y'all. Many of you celebrate so-called Christmas and Thanksgiving. Why do you celebrate Thanksgiving? Why do you no. Just please somebody tell me. Why do you celebrate Thanksgiving? What I do know about Thanksgiving, and I know this for a fact, that it had nothing to do with God. Go back. It had nothing to do with God. They came, they were guests, and they kicked the owners out of their own house. What the? I'm sorry. Well, God did that to the pagan religions and the pagan nations. Yes, pagan religion, pagan nations. But he didn't authorize them to do what they did. And you want to call it Thanksgiving? Ladies and gentlemen, we know that not everybody celebrated that junk back in the day, but everybody, well, I don't really celebrate it. We just meet together as a family. I understand that. I got it. What about Christmas and Valentine's Day? You know, Cupid is a demon. There are no such thing as a baby angel. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on, man, because some of y'all don't understand. There is no such thing as a baby elephant. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Hold no. Impossible. Hold on. Let me open this up. I gotta go back. Hold on. Let's go here. Whew. Remember we talked about it still being extant? Okay, hold on. Outside, we're gonna let the blue things dry. We're gonna, yeah, it's a private affair. I don't wanna see no. Okay, I don't wanna. I like the song. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I've been playing my Bluetooth all day, and it's letting me know that it's low on energy, and it shouldn't be because I had it on the charger earlier, and I got 20% on this little battery. All right, ladies and gentlemen, song coming up next is 2300 Jackson Street. Pay attention. The Senate committee found that we're still extant. So let me tell you something about what I just saw. This is not my writing. I didn't write this. I pulled this up. Do you know where you pulled it up from, son? Well, your mama's a son, okay? You can find a sun in the sky, but I ain't your son, mother. I'm so, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want you guys to know is this ain't coming from me, okay? So the fact that we are documenting that it's still extant. Now let's see. I've already saved it to my computer. See, that's why it's in my download folder. All right, hold on. We're gonna do Control F and let's see. No, this ain't the full report. 470. The full report is a lot longer than this. So we're gonna go to 470. Where you at, 470? You bring me to page 27. Oh, okay. It says it's not here. Okay, let me. No, 470 has to be in the report. I don't know if it can. Let's see. HE. I put the. So, and it only found the one time. Okay, because that's the problem. And we know the word the. Oh no, it found it 100 400 times. Okay, so let's do this. CONSTITUTION. I put the word constitution. Now I know that the report also talked about constitutional power or process. Okay, and the law. No, you see, pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, of the Constitution and the law. Well, the Constitution is the law. Okay, procedures for the protection of civil liberties and that all emergency preparations are in accordance with constitutional process. Okay, don't I'm not worried about that. I am 470 statutes. Constitution AL. Okay, accordance with constitutional process. I am looking for where they say, give me a second, I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I pulled the document from another source because that particular source said the Homeland Security Digital Archive or something like that. Understood it was a .org. Homeland Security will not be on a .org, it will be on a .gov. If it's on the .org, that means that's someone else's site. However, the document appears to be legitimate because it said extant at the top. This is, however, done by the Mueller School of Law, Indiana University. Okay, so we went to this document because I'm interested. And we're not going to be much longer. Uh-oh, I didn't say I want E. Okay, so we don't have extant in here. So let's try 470. 470 is a interesting number because 470 is the number of statutes that they said were altered. In total, there exist today some 470 provisions of federal law which gave the executive branch extraordinary authority in time of a national emergency. Now we're going to go to number 6. Now it says it here again. Like I said, 470 is important. This means that the executive branch has available on a daily basis the authority of some 470 statutes meant only to be available in times of a actual emergency condition. It has been said that this vast range of power, now pay attention, the quote here is from the actual report of the Congressional Committee. Sorry, I gotta wait for it to catch up. Okay, this vast, come on now. That's the word I couldn't remember. Vast range of powers. Sorry, I got to get it to come on down. I just have to wait for it to catch up because I'm doing so much. All right, this vast range of powers taken together confer enough authority to rule this country without reference to the normal constitutional processes. This refers to the fact that by using all of the emergency statutes on a daily basis, the executive branch could rule the country without consulting Congress, thus upsetting the checks and balances that are integral parts of our constitutional system. Thomas Jefferson recognized that the way to lead the way to have a good and safe government is not to trust it at all. But to divide it among the many. Well, sorry. What has destroyed liberty and rights of man in every government which has ever existed under the sun? The sun has stopped it? Oh, God. Sorry. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right with me. I'm sorry. I know the words to this song, and I shouldn't know the words because I ain't heard It's All Right With Me. I haven't heard this song in a long time. It's all right. It's all right with me. Okay. I don't care what people say either. The generalizing and concentrating of all cares and powers into one body. The Special Senate Committee of National Emergencies and Delegated Emergency Powers, whose history will be discussed, concluded that they could not accept any doctrine which holds that a nation in extremis must submit to the will of a single individual. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that I did this. I'm glad that I decided to look this up and pull it up. I'll try to look for the actual Senate notes. The reason why I'm showing many of you this, because many of you simply didn't know. You did not know that we're still under the Banking Act of 1933, that the presidential proclamation is still in effect. The president has never, ever canceled the proclamation. He said it was to extend for 4 days. 4 days! But what happened is Congress came and created the act, the National Banking Emergency Act. National Emergency Act. It's called the National Emergency Banking Relief Act. It's the full title. Now, if you don't believe me, the National Emergency, remember, anytime you see the word National Emergency, it means Trading with the Enemy Act. That's why the word is very important, because it's a military phrase. National emergency, declared years ago, still exists. Pay attention. I didn't even see that. As will be demonstrated, our court system has readily affirmed the agency's use of such authority by refusing to look behind a declaration of national emergency to see if in reality one exists. In other words, the courts have not been willing to second guess the executive branch evaluation that a national emergency declared years ago still exists. Thus, the state of national emergency existing today is a fiction allowed to continue. Wait a minute. Hold on. Did y'all see that? Okay. Uh, where was I at? Thus, the state of emergency existing today is a fiction allowed to continue by the executive branch in order to utilize various national emergency powers available to it by statute. And the fiction is being upheld by the courts. I didn't tell y'all that. This is the university telling y'all that. Let's go back up to the university. Come on now. There's your Mueller School of Law, Indiana University. Okay, Hoosers. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're under emergency rule. We've been under emergency rule from 1933. The reason why the courts can't step in and say anything, because there are a lot of idiots out there who know more about the law than I do. The reason why the courts can't step up and say anything because the president introduced the proclamation. Congress introduced a law verifying, validating, and supporting the president's proclamation, granting him authority, and then the president signed it. That's two-thirds government. They outvote the courts. The courts don't have any authority. That's why the Supreme Court and the other courts have remained silent. Silent! So this is to let you guys know this is where we are. Everybody, you must understand that under this, somebody mentioned the Lieber Code. There's a possibility the Lieber Code may come into play since we're under military rule. But you must know that we're under military rule. You must understand that we're under military rule. You must get that we're under military rule. Once you understand that, these documents will eventually be up on the site. I can't promise I'll put them up there today, but this is what I want to show you. We've been under military rule since 1933. That's why you see they don't have a problem. They make it look like they got to go through all these hoops. They got to go through all these processes. Ladies and gentlemen, stop falling for that. Stop thinking that there's a such thing as Democrat and Republican. What you guys don't understand, during a time of war, the government institutes a civil government. Have you not heard of the American government being a civil government? During a time of war, the military sets up a civil government. Did they not do it in Afghanistan? Did they not do it in Iraq? Go back and look at who set up the government in Afghanistan and Iraq. Was it not the United States? Did they not set up a civil government? So please understand, they set up a civil government in the United States. They set up this civil government ever since they created this stupid act because they couldn't do what they were doing without that. Watch this. We're going to do two things. Then I'm going to go on about doing what I had to do. Civilgovernment. Government. Then we're going to get definition. DEF. I don't know this song because I didn't play it. That's why. Because I didn't like it. So we're going to go with Midnight Rendezvous because I like Midnight Rendezvous, y'all. See, Ladies and gentlemen, civil authority or civil government is the practical implementation of a state on behalf of its citizens, other than through military units, martial law that enforces law and order and uses to distinguish between religious authority, for example, canon law, secular. Ladies and gentlemen, Wikipedia, civilian government definition. In a military situation, a civilian is anyone who is not a member of the armed forces. This is a .com. I don't really want the .com. Okay, we're gonna turn down the jacks. No, we want the term. We don't want the definition of each word. We want the term for civil government. Locke's conception of civil government began with the proposition that the people have a natural right of ownership to property they have earned through their blah, blah, blah. We already know they have a natural right. It's a common law right. That's what natural rights are, common law rights, ladies and gentlemen, of citizens of their ordinary capacity, dictionary.com, or of the ordinary life and affairs of citizens is distinguished from military and ecclesiastical life and affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, now watch this. I said civil government, right? Watch this. Now watch this. Uh-oh. I put in military civilian government. So let's see what we pull up. Because military and civilian should not go hand in hand, right? Military and civilian should not go hand in hand. Okay, in a military situation, a civilian is anyone who is not a member of the armed forces, but that's not what I asked you. Like I told you, military and civilian should not go hand in hand. This is Wikipedia again. Uh, Civilian control of the military is a doctrine in military and political sciences that places ultimate blah 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 blah. The military serve as a special government agency, which is supposed to. The purpose of the military is to defend the society, not to define it. Nobody cares about that. That's Wikipedia again. Military government, administration of occupied territory by the occupying power or not the government over an enemy's territory consists of a military or civil. So let's go here because that's the one we're looking for. Oh, look at that. He found what he was looking for. Because he only looks for stuff that he's looking for. He doesn't look for stuff he's not looking for. So that shows you how biased he is. Yeah, because I'm just going to just be looking for stuff like the rest of you guys who just look for stuff as opposed to going specifically to the information. What I want is what I'm looking for. I don't want what Google wants to send me on a rabbit goose horse chase to find. Okay, just get it in your heads, people. I'm going to get it when I get it. We're going to get there when we get there. By the way, I made some of my famous tuna. I make tuna like the way my mother made it and with pickled relish. I didn't have any sweet pickled relish to add to my sweet pickled relish. Oh, that sounds nasty. Yeah, but everybody and their grandmama like it. It's just a basic hard-boiled eggs, sweet pickled relish, and I'm a sweet pickled relish fanatic, so I do pickled relish and mayonnaise, and I don't do any celery and all that. My mother never added no celery or no onions to no tuna. Come on now. But the hard-boiled eggs, and then you chop that up inside, add your mayonnaise, add your tuna, add your relish, and add your mustard. And that's it. Not a lot of mustard. You don't want it turning yellow. Just enough mustard so that you have that tang in the background. Just it's a slight taste. It takes practice, but that's all I'm eating today because that's what I do, y'all. I make a bowl of that stuff, and phew, that's where we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Jacksons, and they're singing "If You Only Believe." See, I thought this was pulling up, but it ain't pulling up. So let's see. And I do believe Michael is in this particular song. But of course he is. Illuminati. Yes, Michael was associated with the Illuminati. Come on now. I've seen love make men stagger. Brand weakness and rule their pride. Brand their weakness and rule their pride. You won't be touched by his dagger. When you're close by my side. Close by my side. If you only believe. Okay, all of these groups that do songs about belief, there's a reason for that. See, the word believe, I've already showed you guys Boys to Men, similar song, similar theme. It says that it's waiting for the session. Okay, I can't get the definition because it won't let me get to the page. It says it's waiting. What you waiting on? See, that's what happens when you have neutrality. Okay, that's the one that internet neutrality junk. It's so that they can put certain websites in neutral, so that you can't get nothing. Come on, this is where they break it down. Be there for you. All things will come to us sometime. If you only believe. If you only believe. Now, there's going to be a part here where he's going to talk about being right there, where Jermaine is going to come in and going to do a little shouting. Yeah, okay, I can't pull up the civilian government authority where they leave in place a provincial government. And if the world comes tumbling down, waiting too hard for you to see. Watch this. That's the time when you need someone around. And who's got a shoulder like me? Tell me, can you tell me what you tell me now? Open your heart so you can see. I put an E instead of an I because the I before E is stepped after G, and you see what I'm talking about? Are generally appointed and frequently authorized either during and after civil or foreign wars. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States, right after World War One, well, no, not even after, before it even ended, World War One, before it even ended, they set up a provision known as the Trading with the Enemies Act. They made it look like it was legitimate legislation, only it was not. They set up a provincial government in 1933 because the government declared a national emergency and under threat by the president and the banks. You see, those congressmen, they had a lot of money. And so the banks were threatening to foreclose the whole government. And we know how Congress is. I'll be right there to climb the mountain, because I will be right there. And I believe in me. That's what they say. Just call on me. Ladies and gentlemen, Congress was so concerned about their pockets. That's where Senator McFadden came in. He was going after the banks to put a stop to the bank. If he had gone after the banks, they could not have collected on any money because he was going after them for fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, fraud, there's a penalty for fraud in the United States. And you try to defraud the U.S. government, they would not have gotten a dime back. But see, the problem is, if the government had done that, then they would have ruined their reputation on the planet, and they would not have been able to make the money they've made. They made that stupid dollar the world default currency. As a result of doing this, they were allowed to implement the United Nations. They were allowed to put together this thing called an economy where they were basing everything on credit. Go back and read the notes. We put it in just about all of our instruments, where the discussion in Congress was not Federal Reserve notes, but Federal Reserve bank notes. Do you guys understand? It was never Federal Reserve notes, but Federal Reserve bank notes. So if it was Federal Reserve bank notes, then where are we getting these Federal Reserve notes? Because during the emergency, they were allowed to use what's called emergency script. The Federal Reserve notes are constituted emergency script, and because the Trading with the Enemies Act or Presidential Proclamation 2039, either of them or together, says that you are a banking institution. If you are a banking institution, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you to pay attention to the word, then under 12 USC 411, you are permitted to use Federal Reserve notes. 12 USC 411 says that you get to use Federal Reserve notes. And so guess what you do? You use them every single day, but then you want to get mad at the banks for tricking you into using something when they didn't trick you. Everything that I've been showing you, you are supposed to know. Everything you see. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Weekend in my background. Okay, now I am a supporter of Weekend because I was listening to Weekend before he became popular. I discovered the young man on YouTube. I'm not a big fan, but some of the songs he's done got my attention. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you were supposed to know every single thing that I just showed you. Everybody, but you know so much. I didn't know as much as you know. Yes, you do. The problem is, many of you, your lives are so bombarded. You have so much going on that you don't have time to think. You don't have time to focus. Why? Because you've been taught to think a different way than a certain way. You've been taught to doubt so much, doubt everybody and everything, and then you were taught to believe in yourself. That's where you messed up. When you started believing in yourself. Okay, if you were so great, then you wouldn't be in your situation. Hey, I had some idiot leave a comment under one of my videos. Wait a minute, if you know all this information, how come you don't have all the money? Because instead of worrying about myself and getting a lot of money, uh, I decided to focus on you people. I decided to help people. I decided that I didn't want to be as selfish as everyone else. That's why I don't have everything I would like to have. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people out there who are wondering, why am I so left behind? Why does everybody have more than me? Okay? And they don't have to worry about that because that doesn't make any sense. This is the song that I became the person who just kept playing it over and over again. I think this is a well done song by this young man. I have no idea the history behind this song, but I give him credit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, back to all of you who are wondering why things are the way they are in my life and why I'm not out there milking you guys for money and taking dimes and pennies from you and giving you pennies back. Why I decided to take my tax credits. If we look at the law that says bona fide tax credits, that are well documented, mine are well documented. Do you know why? My tax credits are well documented because the arbitrations were complete. Nobody has challenged. I served the parties. I served the parties that even put all of their addresses on the record. I even served some of the parties on the record of the court and had the clerk of the court serve them copies because they're registered in the EMS system. Like I said, this was a plan for me. And to this day, they have not challenged the arbitration award. I didn't go to court on all of them. Didn't need to go to court on my arbitration awards. Do you know why? Do you guys know why I did not need to go to court? Because the law says if I choose to go to court. I chose not to go to court. Why did you choose not to go to court? Well, see, if I go to court, then I give the judge an opportunity to be stupid. Okay? So why would I want to go and do like Weekend just said, waste my time? Why would I waste my time? Why not send them a notice? Hey, you owe me some money. I want my money. You got 30 days, mother. And then wait for them to ignore my request and say, all right, fine. So I just forgave all the debt. It's called debt forgiveness. Y'all allowed to y'all allowed to forgive debt. Watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care about accounting. Wait, let's do credit. I'm curious as to what it says on the credit. I really am curious because that right there seems like it's going to be interesting. Okay, it just seems like it's going. Debt forgiveness is when a creditor cancels some or all of your outstanding debt, but there's always a catch. Creditors won't erase your debt just because you asked. The debt forgiveness option can be loaded with traps such as hard to follow rules, unexpected tax bills, and damage to your credit scores. Uh-uh. I look, debt forgiveness is forgiveness. There's a principle with the word forgiveness. But I'm looking at I typed in the word credit. Debt forgiveness occurs when a lender forgives all the sum of your outstanding balance on a loan or other credit account. No, that's not what I debt forgiveness, student loan, or credit cards. No, I said debt forgiveness credit definition. Didn't say credit cards or anything like that. That's why I clicked on it because I thought it was gonna. But everything is credit cards. This is Drew and his heels. They got this feeling, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, that's not what I wanted. So we're gonna do debt forgiveness. That somebody is getting next to who? Don't want to walk around knowing that I was your who? Because being what? I just can't do what? Interesting. Debt forgiveness occurs when a government creditor entity in one economy formally agrees via contractual agreement. Interesting. Debt relief and debt cancellation is a partial or total forgiveness of debt. My bad. Okay. Slowing or stopping the debt growth owed by individuals, corporations, and nations for antiquity through the 19th century. It refers to domestic debts, in particular agricultural debts, and freeing the debt slaves, freeing the debt slaves, freeing the debt slaves. Debt forgiveness occurs when a lender forgives all or some of your outstanding balance on a loan or other credit account. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am looking for the definition of forgiveness to be well understood because, as I said, it means beforehand to forgive. Okay, so that's why you don't get an opportunity to collect. Watch this. Still the same, but deep in my heart, I heard you call out, call out. Yes, I'm an idiot. Hey, would y'all get that person out of his bed so he can go to sleep? They both must be tired. I'm waiting for it to get to the page. There you go. Give me a second. Let me pause, y'all. Okay, I had to turn on the battery because we were running low. The action or process of forgiven or being forgiven. We've already talked about that. You cannot use the definition for a word in its definition. Or the that was backwards. Okay, you cannot use the word in a definition for the definition of the word you're trying to define. Okay, but if you truly love me, but it wouldn't be happening. Hey, 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 you're sleeping in my bed, messing with my head. Oh, no, 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 no. Psychologists generally define forgiveness as a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment and vengeance towards a person or group. Forgive definition, where said forgiveness is to cease to feel resentment against an offender, to pardon someone. Okay, I didn't say forgive, I said forgiveness. The act of ending anger at she asked for his forgiveness. Did she give it to him? Now this is it says God and it talks about Christian life. The word forgive means to wipe up the slate clean. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Darius again. I downloaded the whole album or a couple of his albums because he sounded alright. You know what I'm saying? He ain't that bad. I heard that that's the route he went and I wasn't sure about it, but now I'm all right. To grant pardon for or remission of an offense, a debt, etc., etc., etc. Okay, absolve, to give up all claims on an account of, to remit, to give up all claims. Ladies and gentlemen, if somebody forgave you or something, then how can you be liable? Forgiveness means to wipe the slate clean. You can't partially forgive anyone. Okay, hold on. Hey, 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 Darius, hold on a second. Darius is gonna hold on a second. We're gonna minimize all this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's see these. This is what this thing does. Okay, that's why I use it. Okay, let's talk for a minute. Can we talk for a minute? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have a outstanding debt with a creditor. And the creditor says, "Oh, I'm gonna forgive you, all right." Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot partially forgive because if you forgave partially, that means you haven't forgiven. Forgive is to forgive. Just like somebody says, "Oh, he's senseless." It's impossible for someone to be senseless. No such thing because he still has sense. It's impossible to have less sense because, again, it's a moronic phrase. Careless. It's impossible to care less because to care less means you still care, which means it's an oxymoron. You cannot forgive and then still have a balance. It's not forgiven. That means it's a lie. Now, let's do this because it's the last thing we're going to talk about. And then I'm going to get on with the getting on. Let's do this. Legal. Because when you see forgiveness in their statutes, it's a legal term. To grant pardon for or remission of an offense, a sin, etc. Sorry, there's a fly in here and he's about to die because I don't play that. I don't know why he in here, but he gonna understand how I feel in a minute because I got 6 fly swatters from Amazon. I haven't had to use them lately. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do what we do. Oh yeah, he's having a good time sitting up here flying around. He and I we gonna talk. I just got to explain something to him. All right, debt forgiveness. Nobody asked for about debt forgiveness. The law of forgiveness. Forgiveness is the act of admitting you are like other people. No, we're not. Definition. Nope, did not. Oh snap! Debt forgiveness, that's the legal term. Dang it, to write off more than one loan to a troubled firm, it helps to restructure in debt. Ladies and gentlemen, they created a legal term called debt forgiveness, not forgiveness. See, the forgiveness of a legal obligation in whole or in part in real estate, it occurs more frequently when a mortgage lender agrees to accept the deed. Wait, hold on. I'm interested what the mortgage lender accepts the deed. They agree to accept the deed? No, wait. Who you accepting it from? Hold on. Legal terms, y'all. Got to pay attention to legal terms. They mean a lot. So we're going to wait till it get to where it's getting, and then we're going to go ahead and conclude this and let you guys get back to your days because I got work to do. Come on, debt forgiveness. Hurry up. Okay. Redirected to debt forgiveness. Debt relief. Okay, good. Oh, okay. It said debt forgiveness. It said debt relief. Forgiveness of a legal obligation, whole or in part, occurs more frequently when a mortgage lender accepts the deed to a property rather than go through foreclosure. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. When they accept a deed to the property rather than go through foreclosure. Interesting, huh? And further agrees to accept the property as full payment for the loan, even though it is not worth the full amount of the loan. In such situation, the borrower has received debt relief and must report that as income for tax purposes. There is a loophole. The debtor is insolvent. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on a second. If you've forgiven my loan, it's not income. Hold on, y'all. Y'all need to understand this. If you've forgiven my loan, it's not income. See, I reported the income the very first year I got the loan. Pay attention. If the bank forgives your loan, remember when you get a loan, your loan is for the total amount. You use that loan to purchase the home. You don't owe any money on the home. I don't care if you're insolvent or not. If you use the loan to purchase the home and it's your private property, you don't owe any money on that. The government cannot tax you on your private property. I just had a conversation with the tax office here in California who told me they were going to tax me. Told them, oh no. So this is a nonprofit corporation, and we have a nonprofit corporation that the property is in. Nonprofit corporation. You can't tax me. I don't know who y'all think y'all dealing with, but it don't work that way. I said this is a nonprofit and a tax exempt organization. Well, the state, this ain't got nothing to do with the state. This has everything to do with the law. I said, and the statute doesn't apply. This law does not apply. You guys remember that? Statute doesn't apply. This is everything to do with a constitutional right. This is a tax exempt organization. Tax exempt means tax exempt. Hey, money! Money. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take off from here and we're going to deal with the remix of the Temptations and the OJs and the Four Tops and the Spinners and Four Tops, the Spinners, the Whispers. You know, we're gonna take y'all there. All right, y'all gotta go. I gotta go. Have a good day, everybody. I'm hoping that this information proves to be beneficial. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everybody.